Hello students, welcome to MJC Learning. Today we are going to learn Supply Analysis of Economics chapter number 4. In this video, this will continue with part 4. Supply Analysis part 4. Let us see Law of Supply. Part 4 video, we are going to cover Law of Supply and assumptions of Law of Supply. What is the Law of Supply? The law of supply is also a fundamental principle of economic theory like law of demand. In earlier videos and in chapter 3, we have learned about demand analysis. What means by demand analysis? In that you have learned that demand and price has inverse relationship. That is, when price of commodity is more, there is less quantity demanded, and when price of commodity is less, there will be more quantity demanded. But when we talk about law of supply, it is same with we are going to learn it with the relation with the price, but here the relationship between supply and price is not inverse, it is not indirect, but it is directly related. It was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principle of Economics, and it was published in 1890. The law explains the fundamental relationship between price and quantity supplied. The law tells us the relationship between price and quantity supplied. Now students, when you learn about demand analysis, you need to think as a consumer. When as a consumer you think, you always think about less price and more uh, uh, output from that price. So let's say when you go to a shop, you always see that you should pay less and you should get more benefit out of it. So when you learn about demand analysis, you need to think as a consumer, that you yourself is a consumer, so then it will be more easier for you to understand. And same way, when you learn about supply analysis, that is in this chapter, you need to think yourself as a producer. Now, when you think yourself as a producer, then you will be thinking of that where you can sell more price and more commodity. Because as a producer, you will start thinking of getting more profit. So remember this thing, that when you learn about supply analysis, think yourself that you are as a producer. What does the statement of the law says? According to Alfred Marshall, other things being constant, higher the price of commodity, more is the quantity supplied, and lower the price of commodity, less is the quantity supplied. Now, as I said just now, you need to think yourself as a producer. Now, producer or supplier, how you will get more profit? If you sell commodity at higher price, more commodity you sell at higher price. So the relationship between price and supply is direct. That is, higher the price, higher is quantity supplied, and lower the price, lower is quantity supplied. See, you will sell the product at higher price and more quantity is supplied, then only you will get more profit, right? And at lower price, you will sell less quantity, so that you will get lower profit. So here the relationship is direct between price and quantity supplied. Higher the price, higher is quantity supplied, lower the price, lower is quantity supplied. So there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. One more thing you can notice here, it is written other things being constant. Other things being constant means, again, if you remember in demand analysis, we consider just price and quantity demanded. Same way here also we consider price and quantity supplied. We do not consider other things which are affecting supply of a commodity, that is determinants of supply. For example, cost of production, state of technology, government policy, nature of market, prices of other goods, export and import, etc. So these things we do not take into consideration. we assume that all things remain constant. We just considered about price of a commodity and how it is related with the quantity supplied. Symbolically, it is written as Sx is equal to F in bracket P x bracket close, where S stands for supply, X stands for commodity, F is function, and P stands for price of commodity. So basically, supply of commodity is in direct relationship with function of price of commodity. So supply of commodity is function of price of commodity, and you can see it is in direct relationship, unlike your demand analysis where it is indirect relationship. We can understand the law of supply with the following table and diagram. You can see a table here which is supply schedule, price of commodity X in rupees and supply of commodity X in kgs. In rupees and in kgs. When price of commodity is 10 rupees, supply of commodity is 100 kgs. It is in kgs. Then second, when price of commodity X is 20, then supply of commodity is 200 kgs. Then when price of commodity X is 30 rupees, then supply of commodity, same commodity X, is 300 kgs. You can see here, students, that as price of commodity is increasing, further quantity supplied is also increasing. As price is increasing, quantity supplied is also increasing. So there is a direct relationship. Further we go to from 30 rupees to 40 rupees, price is increasing, and here against 40 rupees there is 400 kgs of quantity supplied. And when again price increases from 40 to 50 rupees, then there is 500 kgs of quantity supplied. This is the supply schedule, and with this we will draw a diagram and we will understand the diagram. X-axis tells us the quantity supplied in kgs. X-axis tells us the quantity supplied. Y-axis tells us the price in rupees. Now when price is 10 rupees, quantity supplied is 100. When price is 20 rupees, quantity supplied is 200. This we have already seen in the table. Further, when price increases to 30 rupees, quantity supplied is 300 kgs. Then from 40 rupees, quantity supplied further increases to 400 rupees. And from 50 rupees, quantity supplied increases to 500 kgs. At each time, when these two lines are intersecting, that is a price line and quantity supplied line, you get a point. So at 10 rupees you got 1 point, at 20 rupees you got 1 point, at 30 rupees you got 1 point, at 40 rupees you got 1 point, at 50 rupees you got 1 point. All these points, if we draw a line, we get supply curve. Supply curve we get by joining these points. Supply curve is upward sloping. You can look at the diagram and understand the table. So from this also you can understand that there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Higher the price, higher is quantity supplied. Lower the price, lower is quantity supplied. And when we join these points, we get supply curve. Supply curve is always moving upward in right direction. Let us see the explanation. The table explains the direct relationship between price and quantity of commodity supplied. When price rises from rupees 10 to 20, 30, 40 and 50, the supply also rises from 100 to 200, 300, 400 and 500 units respectively. It means when price rises, supply also rises, and when price falls, supply also falls. Now let us see the assumptions of the law. Assumptions of the law means we assume certain things, and we assume certain things will not change. assumptions means we assume. हम लोग ऐसा सोच के चलते हैं कि ये चेंज नहीं होगा, because what happens in certain cases, it might happen that even if prices are lower, quantity supplied are still higher. It goes against the law, because law says that when price of commodity is less, quantity supplied also is less. But in assumptions, we think that certain things will not change to hold the law true. मतलब हम लोग ये सोच के चलते हैं कि ये कुछ चीज़ें जो हैं वो कभी नहीं बदलेगी, और तभी ये जो लॉ है वो सही बना रहेगा, जहाँ कहते हैं कि प्राइस और क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड दोनों डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप में है, दोनों डायरेक्ट रिलेशन में है। ठीक है, सो लेट अस सी द फर्स्ट assumption ऑफ द लॉ which says constant cost of production. Now yes, these are all assumptions, that is we are assuming, ये हम सिर्फ सोच रहे हैं. So assumptions of the law, and there are also exceptions to the law. So please do not get confused between these two words. It will come in demand analysis also and in supply analysis also. So what is the first assumption is constant cost of production. It is assumed that there is no change in cost of production. Now when a production takes place, there are many things required, like raw material, then labor force, then electricity, etc. So for all these things, we need that producer or supplier needs to pay, and the prices of this commodity or this raw material gets changes. It changes after some time, but we assume that this cost of production remains same. It does not change, because what will happen? Suppose if any change takes place, then it will affect the profit of the seller and therefore supply also. And this can be happen with the same price. So here we assume that there is no change in cost of production. That means suppose after 6 months, after one year, whatever production is taking place, there is no change in cost of production. It remains same, because if cost of production remains same, then only your price will remain same, and then only your supply will remain same. Then second point in this is no change in weather condition. Again we assume weather is not something which will be stable all over the time. It can change anytime. But here again we assume, हम लोग सिर्फ सोच रहे हैं कि climate condition हमेशा एक सा ही रहता है. There will be no natural calamities like flood, earthquake, etc. What will happen if flood or earthquake such situation comes? Then it will destroy the production, and because of that the supply will be less. The price of commodity will be more because supply will be less. So in this situation the law will be wrong, will turn law wrong. So we assume that the climatic condition will be same. There will be no natural calamities happen in uh, the production. So first is constant cost of production, second is no change in weather condition, then third is government's policies remain unchanged. Now government's policies also change after certain time, after certain period of time, but we assume that government's policy will not change, it will remain same. That means there will be no change in taxation policy or trade policy, etc. Whatever is going on will continue for the years, which is actually not true. But again, as we said, here we are just assuming these things which are not in reality, we are just assuming. So government's policy remains unchanged. So we assume that government's policy will not change. Government की जो भी policy है, taxation policy है, government जो भी rules थोड़े टाइम के बाद चेंज करते हैं वो चेंज नहीं करेंगे, वही चलता रहेगा सालों साल. Then fourth is no change in transport cost. Transport cost means When a producer or supplier is bringing raw material from one place to another place, then transport is required. Then after the finished good, once the good is ready, then to carry that good from one place to another, again transport is required. So, and as per the which mode of transport is used, prices will be changed, cost will change. But we assume that there is no change in transport cost, that is, it will remain same. It is assumed that there is no change in condition of transport facility and transport cost. So transport facility remains same. Again, we are assuming that there will be no change in transport facility or transport condition, and so the price of transport cost will be same. Further, one next assumptions of the law of supply says prices of other goods remains constant. Prices of other goods are assumed to remain constant. If they change, the law of supply may not hold true because producer may transfer resources to other product. Now let's say there are two commodities A and B. When producer is selling commodity A, now commodity B, suddenly there is price of commodity B decreases. Now when price of commodity B decreases, means what will happen with the demand? There will be more demand. Lower the price, higher will be demand. So there is more demand for commodity B. Now again, the supplier thinks of producing commodity B as there is more demand for commodity B instead of commodity A. This will all happen if the prices of other goods changes. But in this law, we assume that price of other goods remain constant. There will be no change in prices of other goods. Next, we come to no future expectations. The law assumes that the seller do not expect future changes in the price of the product. Now, future expectations means if the seller thinks that in future the particular commodity will have more demand. So what will happen? Seller will sell less commodity, or seller might not sell any commodity right now, and it will seller will wait for the future conditions. And seller will think that in future he is getting more profit, so right now seller will stop selling particular commodity. This all will happen if seller has any future expectations. But here seller does not have any future expectations, that is what we are assuming. And last assumptions in the law of supply is no change in technique of production. This you can understand that when the production technique is more advanced, a producer can produce more in given price, in given less cost of production. So seller will spend less and seller will get more quantity produced if technique of production is more advanced. And as time passes, the technique always improves. But we again assume that there is no change in technique of production, that the method or technique of production remains same over the years. So these are the assumptions of law of supply, that is prices of other goods remains constant, no future expectations, no change in technique of production, government's policies remain unchanged, no change in transport cost, constant cost of production, no change in weather conditions. These are all assumptions of the law. Assumptions means we are just assuming. So in this video we have learnt about the law of supply. What does law? We have seen the table and accordingly the diagram of law of supply. The functions of law of supply, which says the supply of commodity is equal to function of price of commodity. And what does the statement of the law says? That the higher the price of commodity, higher will be the quantity supplied, and lower the price of commodity, less will be quantity supplied, where other things being constant. So this is part 4 video. In part 5 video, we will start with the exceptions of the law of supply. Thank you.